Hello, everyone. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. Each September, the LA City Hall building turns red, white, and green to celebrate El Grito. Several council members and many Angelinos gathered to celebrate the independence of Mexico with mariachi bands and other artists highlighting the importance of this day for Mexicans and Mexican Americans in our city.
Ahora sí, paisanos, ¿cómo andan? Tú querías que te dejara de querer.
We're celebrating the independence of Mexico. El Grito is an annual tradition that we celebrate here in Los Angeles. We are happy to honor that tradition each and every year. Our history is part of what informs our future, and reminding our community that they are very much in control of the opportunities that we can continue to pursue in this country remain very important. We've seen the impacts of what happens when people have stripped away our fundamental and basic rights, and so it's important to remind our communities how much we have been a part of the fight for independence and how we must continue that fight.
Los Angeles is 50% Mexican. It's the city that has more Mexicans living in a community outside of Mexico City. It's Mexico City, it's Los Angeles, it's Guadalajara. And so it's important that we celebrate the traditions, the history. And Mexicans are optimists. They're optimists. They come from one country to another. They learn the language. They discipline their kids to go to school. And they know that education is the vehicle to change both your family, your life, and your community. And so that's why it's important to celebrate this day, to recognize those traditions, but also be optimistic about the future.
It's very important for us, in government to recognize the women and the men who helped build this city. A lot of them are hardworking immigrants, not just from Mexico, but from Central America and elsewhere. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, they're the ones who sustain this economy, and that's why it's important that we all come together. We had today Jewish Americans come and speak in solidarity. It doesn't matter which political party, it doesn't matter your ethnicity, your country of origin, whether you're first, second, third, fourth generation American, whether you're an immigrant, it doesn't make a difference. We're one city, we're one LA. That's why we come here tonight to celebrate each other.
¡Que viva México!
In this week's program, we have even more music coming up. Stick around for our segment about the Grammy Museum later in the show. We recently experienced very high temperatures that made Angelinos' electricity bills go up. To help low-income residents stay safe and cool throughout the hottest months, the city has launched an initiative called Cool LA. Let's take a look.
So we're here today to celebrate the launch of Cool LA. And Cool LA is a new program that we're starting to aggregate not only our existing rebate programs and programs to help customers out, but also launch new programs. Most importantly, our AC rebate program, as well as our level bill pay.
So we're offering here a new program that does two things. One, it gives a much bigger rebate for air conditioning to make sure that our low-income residents don't have to worry about whether they have air conditioning on these hot days that literally can put people in the hospital or even take their lives. The second thing is we're also going to do bill pay leveling out. That's a fancy way of saying instead of having peaks and valleys to your bill, we're going to allow you to pay the same, the average, every month. So that July, if you need more power, that's going to be averaged out the other 11 months so that people can make sure they stay cool and that their finances are taken care of too.
So a lot of our customers really experience two problems when there's heat. And one is that a lot of folks don't have air conditioning and can't afford air conditioning. And we've always had a $75 rebate for new air conditioning units. So now for income qualified customers, we're tripling that rebate to $225. Ideally, that'll help a lot of folks get into the market for an air conditioner at their home, whether it's a window unit or portable air conditioner.
It is critical, as the mayor's indicated, that we continue to focus on extreme heat and the responsibility that we have as a city family to mitigate its impacts on our most vulnerable residents. The climate has already changed. And while some Angelenos flock to the beach, the reality is that there are countless others across the city who suffer in their homes and neighborhoods with little relief. In launching the Cool LA initiative, we are heeding the city call to act now to help all Angelenos an option to stay cool while removing the stress of paying summer utility bills.
We have this right now, starting this Monday is when you can level out those bills. And I would encourage everybody, you don't have to be low-income resident too, but to level out your bills is more predictability for your family and for your family budget.
If there's one thing the recent heat wave has taught us, it's that we need to stay cool to stay safe. That is why, as part of the city's Cool Neighborhoods program, Council District 13 is adding cooling pavement and planting new trees in some streets of East Hollywood as a multifaceted approach to help underserved areas stay cool.
We're on Berendo Street in East Hollywood, and we are applying cool pavement to this block between Lexington Avenue and Santa Monica Boulevard. It's one of 14 blocks in Council District 13 that is going to get cool pavement this fiscal year. We're also doing 114 tree plantings. So there are lots of different blocks, lots of different parts of the district that are going to benefit from this, and they will literally be cooler as a result. Part of the city's Cool Neighborhoods program, which brings this innovative technology to underserved areas, areas that don't have as much tree cover, that haven't gotten as much resources over the years, and that are suffering more adversely from the heat island effect.
This is important because right now we know, as we experience this tremendous heat wave, that cities are getting hotter. In fact, there's a study that says by 2040 that there will be double the hot days. That's days over 95 degrees in the city of Los Angeles. And if we're experiencing anything like this, we know that we have to find ways to cool our city streets, cool our neighborhoods, and really help our stakeholders. So our strategy is not just one element. We want to have a multifaceted approach to cooling our city. Hopefully, at some point, we know we'll be doing this citywide to every neighborhood.
When we do the cool pavement and trees at the same time, we can reduce the temperature on city streets by as much as 10 degrees. So it really makes a huge impact for the people who live here.
Council District 10 recently celebrated Historically Black Colleges and Universities Community Day. This event was a chance for students from across the city to talk to counselors and find out about the different education opportunities that HBCUs offer. Let's take a look.
Today we're here celebrating historically black colleges, the benefits, and what they offer to society and the community.
They provide an atmosphere and a community of love and support that sometimes we can't find other places, but it can make a big difference in how successful one can be in completing college and in your life and your professional career after college.
I just want to say congratulations to the students that are going to HBCUs next year. It's really exciting. We're happy to host you here. We had an opportunity to connect, and we're looking forward to all the things that you do in your future. This is a celebration of education. HBCUs in the black community is the education. What we did earlier today was about students here from across the city to give them opportunity to talk to counselors about their opportunity to get into college.
It's all about helping individuals understand the HBCU, Historical Black Colleges and Universities, and so we're happy to bring a little Southern flavor to Los Angeles. Well, when you think of the Historical Black Colleges, African Americans, those were institutions, the only institutions that we could go to, and they have been around for hundreds of years. And what I tell people is that we call them elite institutions of higher learning because when you think about individuals who have done so many wonderful things in the country, even when you think about our Vice President, Kamala Harris, who graduated from Howard University, she graduated from an HBCU. You can do and become anything that you want to be by attending a historical black college. And of course, we want you to come to Alabama State University, but there are so many institutions out there. And so we want to give these young folks and young people hope. And if they invest in themselves, the universities will invest right back into them.
I'm a product of HBCU. I'm a graduate of Florida A&M University. Going to HBCU was a phenomenal experience for me. Being able to attend the university as such and able to not only get my education, but also grow as an individual and as a woman. So the HBCU teaches you a lot about life and how to be a productive citizen.
The HBCU experience gives you a place in the United States that was created for you to strive to succeed so you can contribute to this society. And that's the best thing about it, is being in a place that's actually for you, that was made for you.
My experiences at a HBCU has been an experience like no other. I have truly experienced opportunities that has put me in rooms and places with top students around the country, and I truly thank my HBCU, Alabama State University, for affording me those opportunities.
A new motion is introduced to make cooling appliances mandatory. A Latinx story map of LA is released by Controller Ron Galperin, and LA City and County celebrate a housing agreement with LA Alliance. These stories up next on City Beat.
Los Angeles City Council President Nury Martinez has introduced legislation to look at options around requiring cooling appliances in rental units. Citing the climate vulnerability assessment from LA County, Martinez noted residents of low-income neighborhoods are most affected by rising temps. The motion notes that South LA, the Harbor area, and the Northeast San Fernando Valley show much higher emergency room visits during heat waves. The motion, which next goes to the Housing Committee, reflects Martinez's belief that climate change is moving home cooling from being an amenity to a necessity. For more info on City Council and committee items, visit lacity.gov/government. LA City Controller Ron Galperin released a story map entitled Unidos Latinx in Los Angeles to celebrate Latinx Heritage Month. The online tool maps places central to LA's Latinx population, featuring a virtual guided tour of 23 integral locations across the city. Highlights include landmarks in El Pueblo de Los Angeles, where over 2 million tourists and locals each year visit a living museum dating back to 1781. You can also tour Campo de Cahuenga, the location where the Treaty of Cahuenga was signed in 1847. Each year, a festive reenactment is held at the site. The latest entry on the story map is Mercado La Paloma in South Los Angeles, which has become a bustling community cultural center. To check out the LA Controller story map, visit the Data, Stories, and Maps tab at lacontroller.org. Los Angeles City and County officials celebrated an agreement between the county and LA Alliance, which will improve cooperation to confront homelessness.
So this agreement today is a great day, not just to start this week, but for us moving forward in the city and county of Los Angeles. Putting a game plan on paper, how we can continue to march towards our ultimate goal of eliminating homelessness from the streets of our great city.
LA County's agreement will increase outreach teams and bolster the city and county's ability to build and support homeless housing developments. The county's settlement follows the city's in April, which focuses on creating new housing for those who can reasonably be assisted. For more information, visit the Press Room tab at lamayor.org.
The Department of Rec and Parks is responsible for making sure Angelinos have parks and sports facilities that are well-maintained, accessible, and safe. That is the main goal of Jimmy Kim, the newly appointed general manager of this department, as well as turning community spaces into hubs where people come together. Check it out.
Recreational parks can be defined as Griffith Park, Venice Beach, Hanson Dam. But to Angelenos, we're a collection of neighborhood parks, local swimming pools, rec centers, daycare centers, after-school centers. We just opened an amazing new facility, Michelle and Barack Obama Sports Complex. This department is made up of men and women ranging from gardeners to park rangers to lifeguards to rec directors, rec assistants, all stewards of our parklands here in the city of Los Angeles. My main priority is to provide safe and accessible parks for the Angelenos that utilize our parks. I'm also looking to make sure that we gap the digital divide from our communities and make our community centers and parks community hubs, right, where people can come together, not only recreate, but also utilize resources to connect to the internet and reach out to people from all over the world and get data so that doesn't become a barrier. You know, the fall is here. LAUSD has started school, and so the department has an amazing after-school program that is currently active. Our after-school program provides pickup from local schools around the center. The programming includes not only help with homework, but also social and mental health type activities that kids can partake in. We also have our Play LA program this fall that's continuing from our success last summer and the fall launch that we had last year. And that's an amazing program where we provide low-cost, equitable programming to our communities. We have a robust aquatics program where people can learn to swim. Learning to swim is free in the city, so I encourage people to go out there, find a local pool, and learn to swim. I personally am a park user, and so it's important to me to make sure that our parks are clean, accessible, and have just amazing programs. So I look forward in my leadership here and leading the wonderful men and women of the Department of Recreation and Parks.
Rec and Parks isn't the only department offering programs for Angelenos. Stick around to hear about what the public library has in store. Do you think museums are just serious and quiet places? A day at the Grammy Museum in collaboration with Council District 9 is proof that museums can be a lot of fun with interactive exhibits where people can dance, sing, play instruments, and discover the ins and outs of the music business. The Grammy Museum welcomes everyone inside their doors.
We are thrilled to be hosting a day at the museum with Council District 9 and Councilman Curran Price and his wonderful staff today. We try to be the opposite of a boring museum. We are a highly interactive music museum. This is about celebrating music and the greatest art form, at least in my opinion, that there is.
First of all, we're just excited to be here at the Grammy Museum in the 9th District. And this is just an exciting opportunity for us to expose our young people to the obstacles and opportunities in the music business. And what better place than the Grammy Museum? And so we're just so proud and pleased that it exists in our community and that our community residents have a chance to take advantage and learning some of the resources that are here.
There's all kinds of programs and exhibits that go on here all the time, and we realize that a sector of our community might not know about us, might not feel comfortable coming down. So these are a way to introduce our facility. We want people to come in and dance and sing and play the drums and learn what a harpsichord is and play a washboard. We want people to touch and feel. We want this to be a tactile and visceral, emotional experience so that people walk away and really connect. They see somebody that looks like them, that sounds like them, and maybe it inspires them to go on and have a career in music. Maybe it inspires them just to listen to more music and broaden their horizons. It's a little bit of everything. We really want to have the opportunity to welcome so many different people with so many different interests, and music really is a way that we can do that. It touches so much.
Part of our mission is really to serve this community. The things that we celebrate, the music, the diversity, the culture, is really a reflection of the community around us. So it's important for us to celebrate people in music, but also the audience, the people who keep the music alive, who support the music, who will be the future generation of the music. So I think it's really important for us to be able to reflect that, not only in what we do as a museum programmatically, but just also to open up our doors and invite the community in.
We all know the saying, practice makes perfect. And, I've achieved a few things in my life through the music industry and radio industry, but to this day, I still practice. And so, we want to give direction and guidance to show these kids where they can go
how they can have access to certain tools to, further their interest and, in some cases, their talents. And so I'm excited to help feed these kids' minds.
We appreciate the partnership with the Grammy Museum. They are an iconic resource in our community, not just South LA, but all of Los Angeles, all of Southern California, and indeed the world. And to have a world-class partner working with our community, working with our kids is inspiring for all. So we're just very appreciative.
Power outages, major windstorms, wildfires, and earthquakes are unexpected disasters that Angelenos need to be prepared for. By doing so, you are making sure that you protect yourself, your family, and your community. Jennifer Lazo from the Emergency Management Department shared some valuable tips to help Angelenos stay prepared and safe in case of a disaster.
Angelenos need to be prepared for everything from a power outage to a major Santa Ana windstorm, to wildfires and earthquakes. Disasters can happen without any notice or warning, and so by being prepared, you can make sure to protect yourself, your family, and your community. One of the first steps is gathering the information that you need to be prepared, so signing up for emergency alerts and knowing how to get good information. Also, you want to gather the supplies needed for your disaster preparedness kit. This might mean having a bag under your bed with shoes and a flashlight, having food and water and blankets set aside in case you need to evacuate or shelter in place at home. You also want to make a plan with your loved ones for if you have to leave rapidly, where will you meet? How will you get in contact with each other? Finally, you want to make sure to be informed. You want to have all of the information you need to take good actions during an emergency. This involves signing up for Notify LA at notifyla.org, which is our emergency alerting system. That will tell you the information you need to be ready to go. This system can send you a phone call, a text message, an app notification, and you can even buzz your phone like an Amber Alert so that you find out that something is going on in your neighborhood. To get your community prepared, we have a program called Ready Your LA Neighborhood, which allows you to gather with your community members and talk about what needs you might have. So for kids, maybe it's knowing that they have a trusted neighbor that they can go to if there's an emergency while they're at home alone. Also, maybe you know that there's a doctor down the street if something happens and you can't get to a hospital or an urgent care clinic. It's National Preparedness Month, which is a really great time to take these actions. We know that there's a lot of different hazards that can affect the city of Los Angeles, and we need to be ready for all of them.
This week, in our ongoing series celebrating the 60th anniversary of the LA Cultural Heritage Commission, we visit the Korean National Association Memorial Hall. Once the center for the Korean national movement, this place of meeting and education tells the story of the Korean community and contributes to the rich diversity of Los Angeles. Let's hear this story.
We are at the Korean National Association Memorial Hall, City Cultural Monument number 548, designated in 1991.
그 전에는 대한인국민회가 샌프란시스코에 그 사무실을 두었고 처음으로 이 건물을 로스앤젤레스로 이전하면서 지은 건물입니다. 그리고 미국과 그 다음에 멕시코 그리고 큐바에 있는 동포들과 함께 상해 중국에 있는 임시 정부를 도왔습니다.
From 1937 to 1945, it was the center of the Korean national movement, fighting for independence from Japan, pre-World War II and during World War II. Subsequently, it's become a meeting place, a place of education, and a place of telling the history of the Korean community.
2003년에 이 건물을 새로 리모델링을 해서 독립운동의 전시관으로 만들었습니다. 대한인국민회의 이 지금 기념관은 한인사회에서 역사 교육장이자 우리 그 차세대들의 나라 사랑 정신을 키워주는 곳입니다.
I think one of the important things about this building is that it really shows the importance of preservation as telling the history of Los Angeles. This isn't about architecture. You drive by, you don't pay any attention to the building. But the history of what happened in this building is important to understanding the city of Los Angeles, the diverse communities of Los Angeles, and how LA became the city, the international city it has become.
Have fun at the spectacular Boo at the LA Zoo. Attend a free bike safety lesson at the Edendale Branch Library, or enjoy the theater play Desert Stories for Lost Girls. All this up next on Things to Do.
The most spooky and fun night of the year is still about a month away, but the staff and the animals at the LA Zoo are already getting ready to trick-or-treat visitors with their special programming, Boo at the Zoo. This program welcomes adults and kids and will consist of spooktacular activities like open-air live shows, animal pumpkin feedings, themed photo ops, education stations, trick-or-treat weekends, and much more. Boo at the Zoo is free for guests who purchase a general admission ticket and will be taking place every day at the LA Zoo from Saturday, October 1st until Monday, October 31st. For more information, click on the Plan Your Visit tab at lazoo.org. Attention cycling aficionados. The Metro Bicycle Education Safety Training Program is holding an open class to introduce the bike share system as well as important safety guidance at the Edendale Branch Library. Attendees will learn about basic bike safety skills, rules of the road, traffic laws, bike services, and events offered by Metro. Those who register and complete the course will also get a free 30-day Metro Bike Share Pass, a free helmet, and a set of bike lights. Bike Share 101, Safety Basics, is free and open to teens and adults. It takes place at the Edendale Branch Library on Thursday, September 29th at 5 p.m. For more information and to register, visit lapl.org/events. Do you believe your ancestors walk with you? Lily Rushing's Desert Stories for Lost Girls, a new theatrical production in collaboration between Native Voices at the Autry and the Latino Theater Company, is a lyrical rumination on family, identity, and colonialism over generations. The story follows 18-year-old Carrie when she moves in with her grandmother, Rosa, and is thrown into a world of memory and mystery that unearths her family story and identity. Desert Stories for Lost Girls will take place at the city's Department of Cultural Affairs Los Angeles Theater Center from Wednesday, September 28th until Sunday, October 16th. Performances are at 8 p.m. from Thursday to Saturday and at 4 p.m. on Sundays. For more details about the show and to buy tickets, visit latinotheaterco.org. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.